Hello, and thank you for taking the time to listen to this message. This is a general reading for the month of October. I will have individual messages out there for each of the 12 signs, but this is the collective message. I do want to say when I started pre-shuffling the cards, I did see new beginnings. I seen where I feel there has been a lot of energies who have been pretty much doing their own work, like having to move through some pretty intense energies, feeling like they were doing it on their own. More than likely, they were doing it on their own. And it does look like during the month of October, where these new beginnings are unfolding and unleashing, there will be solid, stable, loyal, secure energies that show up to assist, like partner up. I did see the key to success, so as well, the key to goodness it was. So I'm pulling messages. This is one of my favorite decks that I have. It is an oracle deck. It's the mystical magical deck. And this says legends. Learn from those who inspire you. And I feel like this has been something that we recognized in the month of October, which we're really implementing in the month of August. I feel like this is where there was a big recognition, and I feel the month of October is where we're implementing that wisdom, that knowledge. That was another card that did show up that I seen. And look, this was a card that I seen. I said the 7 heavenly keys, or the keys to success, but it's 7 heavenly virtues. Yes, the keys to goodness, right? So I feel like whoever I'm speaking to, there was this strong recognition of what you were inspired by, who you were inspired by. And I really feel like you're taking that knowledge, that wisdom, the lessons that were learned through those experiences, and allowing that to assist you moving towards the future. So the first card that's showing up is the Hanged Man in reverse, which is nice because this shows someone has gone through an enlightenment. They've gone through some sort of transformation. They are seeing things from a different perspective, right? I'm feeling with this energy, like looking like that, I'm feeling it's giving me the vibe of the I don't know why I blanked out. It's giving me that the new beginning, the 0, the major arcana card, the Fool. That's what it was giving me, and I just couldn't. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Yeah, I feel like it's giving me that energy of a new beginning with this enlightened energy, with this awareness, taking a leap of faith into another portal, right? I'm seeing at the bottom of the deck 3 of Swords. I can see clearly in this photo where there is someone who is heartbroken, very sad, but I'm also feeling the energy of this right here, where this is someone who has walked away. And I feel like this is the energy of where there are people, places, there are just energies that are going to be heartbroken in regards to your ascension, in regards to you moving forward. But I feel like whoever I'm speaking to, you have gone through a transformation, and I just don't see you looking back. You've gone through that enlightenment, that awakening. You're seeing things differently. You're wiser now. And I feel like you're ready to move forward. Yes, look at that, Hierophant. This is a card about being blessed or having blessings bestowed upon you. Beautiful energy. Major Arcana card, the Star card. This is in alignment. This Star card is about Aquarian energy, right? And I feel, and I've said this isn't something I'm saying today because I'm doing this reading. It's something that I have been preaching for quite some time now. I've at least a couple years, where when you align with the new era, the age of Aquarius, right? That's about integrity. It's about authenticity. It's about innovation. It's about, just really thinking outside the box. It's a beautiful energy. It's also an energy of healing, right? And a lot of people chose to, again, we all have free will. We can all choose. We are free to choose. We are not free from the consequences of our choices. And I do believe there were a lot of people who really chose to go within, look at their shadow side, face some really tough reality, right? Some pretty harsh truths about self, about people, places, things, all that sort of stuff. And I'm feeling those that have ascended right into that new age, that era, that way of being, truth, clarity, honesty, integrity, and authenticity being the wave of the future. The people who have really done that work and aligned with that energy are about to see some serious blessings, right? Look, even on the bottom of the deck, 7 heavenly virtues. I've already showed you this, but underneath that was set your goals. This talks about leadership, and I do feel like this is, leading by example, right? Showing the world who you really are. And I feel whoever I'm talking to, that you may have spent quite a bit of time feeling like, am I the only one who tells the truth? Am I the only one who calls out stuff? Am I the only one? Am I the only one? And I do feel like there was this really big time frame where you could have really felt like you were alone doing it by yourself, and it was like everybody was too busy people pleasing or going along to get along, and that sort of thing. And I feel like those are the energies that ultimately you disconnected from during the last cycle that we were in, before this eclipse energy showed up to eclipse that stuff out, right? So the next card that wants to show up is the Empress. Can I say I am loving this? First and foremost, let's just point out the fact, the truth, that there are 3 major arcana cards on this table right now. Major arcana cards represent major life shifts and transformations. They are major life impact. They impact you in a major way. Like, this is major life changes. And I'm feeling that energy of whoever I'm talking about, who has gone through that enlightenment, who came out on the, and has done that shadow work, and who's having faith and believing in themselves and having the strength, courage, and confidence to make some tough choices, decisions, that sort of thing. They're seeing these blessings come in. And when we talk about the Empress energy, if you've watched me read for any amount of time, this is a card you love to see show up in your reading, because this indicates that you're coming from a pure, authentic, genuine, loving heart space. This isn't about bitterness or anger or anything like that. This is talking about having that peak experience on a soul level that really co-creates with the universe to co-create an entirely new world. Now, on the bottom of the deck, I am seeing the Page of Cups, okay? And so I feel like this is that starting point. Like, these blessings to me feel like and I did pick up this energy before, even when I was in pre-shuffling, where I felt like there were things that were going to come together for you, where there were going to be, where you're not feeling that energy of having to do this all on your own, where you're going to be connected with a support system, with, friends, whatever this is, job opportunities, doors that are opening for you. And these feel to me like they are very sincere. Like, with the Cups energy, we talk about a purity of a fresh mindset, a fresh soul, a fresh heart space, like pure energy resonating through all of that, as well as it feels to me like new connections when it comes to not only your feelings and your emotions, but relationships in general is how I'm feeling with that energy. Let's grab another card and see what other energies want to come out. I cannot. This is so fantastic. 4. I'm loving it. Temperance angel. This is talking about that balance, right? The temperance angel. This is divine guidance. This is a very harmonious energy. I feel it also is a card that indicates patience, right? And I'll show you the bottom of the deck in a second, but I was like, oh, this so fits. So anyhow, there is this sense of really a lot of goodness opening up in someone's life, where I feel like they see things differently. The blessings are coming through, and they're coming through as a result of the healing that they did when we seen that Star card, right? These wishes that are coming true, this world that they're co-creating is as a result of that pure, loving, nurturing nurturing, kind, caring soul space. Like this is somebody being infused with that high vibrational frequency that ultimately attracts that high vibrational frequency and brings much peace to an individual, right? This is talking about balanced, and this is, these are like I said, 4 major arcana cards. So now I want to talk about the number 4, because the number 4 talks about our foundation. It talks about our stability. It talks about that energy of where we feel safe, secured, nurtured, and loved, and where I feel you have just come out or just coming out of that cycle of all of that, I want to say, riffraff kind of energy. You're really stabilizing yourself, maybe on wobbly legs right now, so be easy on yourself. Rome wasn't built in a day, and we always have to strengthen those legs and build that muscle after it's that sort of thing. So I do feel like this is where this is coming into play. And look at the bottom of the deck, the Devil in reverse. Done. Over. The toxic patterns, the toxic connections, the things that were feeling, keeping you trapped, bound, stuck to a certain way, certain place, whether it be people, place, or things. It's like somebody has freed themselves. Another freeing themselves right there, right? They've seen something and there's no unseeing it, and they've made, I feel, healthy choices. They've done the inner work, and now they're going to watch this pay off in spades, right? Like they're going to see their entire world shifting in a way that maybe once upon a time they doubted or didn't believe could happen. I feel like faith is seriously being restored. So we got the 7 of Wands that showed up in reverse with the Lovers card, clarifying this Hanged Man. I feel like this 7 of Wands being in reverse, I feel like attack. When I'm feeling this, I feel like somebody was under a lot of attack, whether it be from friends, from your job, from your own internal soul saying this isn't for you, right? Like it was kind of like just recognizing that you had to protect yourself. When we look at this card upright, right? Look at, these are like, you can look like a bunch of vultures on the bottom, right? They got their lights going. They're all ganged up. They're searching and seeking for this treasure. They desired this treasure. That's what their intention was. That's why all these spiritual attacks came through, trying to get to this. And you notice there's only this one, right? This seems like a single energy. And I do feel like that's what happened, is somebody was really fighting some pretty significant battles, on their own. We see the Lovers card now, and now that talks another major arcana card. There's a lot of major arcana cards showing up here right now. The Lovers card can talk about choice in partners, but it also talks about choices, right? And I feel like somebody chose, and look, you see Cupid up here shooting his arrow, right? And there's the heart right there. I do feel like this is someone who chose to tap into that heart space, chose to open that heart up, to love, to be loved, that sort of thing, to operate in a place of a higher vibrational frequency. They've gone through an enlightenment here. Bottom of the deck is that Page of Cups again, and I don't even know what I'm doing because I had an entirely another deck that I was meant to clarify with, but we're just going to do this and then we're going to use the other deck. But anyhow, so I do feel like this is what shift help, was part of the shift. Like I feel like whoever I'm talking to, congratulations. I am so impressed. I am so happy for you. I send you so much love and light, because I can see with this energy you did the inner work. Do I feel like it was easy? No, I don't. I feel like it would have been easier to stay in your comfort zone, in a place that you knew, whether you liked it or not. I do feel that was the easy route, but I feel like you chose not to do that. And there we are with the Ace of Swords. That is the truth. There is that Knight of Cups showing up now, and this is talking about, again, that water energy, right? Like being honest with yourself, speaking truth onto yourself, that sort of thing, not aligning with energies that were not in alignment, right? That's important, right? Like when you sit there and, like I said, I felt that energy of when you used to go along to get along, when you knew somebody wasn't speaking truth or you knew something wasn't accurate, and you just, it may have been uncomfortable for you to speak truth on that, right? I don't feel like that's where you are now. I feel like this is why all of this is shifting. I'm also feeling like you are really being honest, not only with yourself, but with the people that you are connecting with, in regards to your feelings, your emotions. And if people can't understand that, respect that, and appreciate that, then I feel like you clearly know that these are not your people, right? Look, 3 of coins in reverse. This is saying that's not my tribe, right? I don't align with that kind of energy, right? So I feel like you are I feel such strength coming through all of this. So I do feel like you are more like seriously standing in your power. Next card that comes up, speaking of standing in their power, right? There is the King of Wands, which talks about strength, courage, confidence, true leadership, right? Leading by example. Like, I'm not going to tolerate things. And I feel like this is somebody who knows, right? They lead, like I said, they lead by example. Big, huge. Number one thing I will always pick up on when I see the King or the Queen of Wands energy is loyalty is extremely, first of all, rare, but that is part of their DNA, right? Like if you've ever known an energy, like, Leos more than anyone, like they are very forgiving because they are ruled by the sun in their heart chakra. And they're very kind. They're very, on a upright, because every sign has their goods and their bad, right? Like pride and ego would be a negative thing for a fire sign energy. But on the upside of it, loyalty is first and foremost. And they are, like I said, they're very loving and generous and kind and forgiving, that sort of energy. But if you've brought one to a point of no return, like, through disloyalty, through betrayals, through breaking their heart, like I'll tell you, you will see that lion in them. Judgment is on the bottom of the deck, and look at this. This is an ascension. This is someone being pulled up out of, I feel like it's already happening. I feel like it's been going on because someone chose themselves. Someone chose to raise their vibration. Someone chose to stand 10 toes down and no longer allow disrespect, you being used, abused, not appreciated, not validated, not respected, that sort of energy. And I do feel that energy, that it's a very favorable judgment. The next card that comes out is the Page of Coins, and I want to see why that is. Okay, I'm seeing why this is. I feel like this Page of Coins is an energy. I ultimately feel like it's an energy that wants to come in and offer something, whether this be, someone that you cut off, or a job opportunity or something like that, just something in the physical realm, some sort of compensation maybe, or something like that. I don't feel like you'd be accepting this. I feel like this Six of Swords is representing moving away, being guided towards something different. And I feel like, honestly, this just gives me an energy of something that wants to tether itself to your blessings, your good fortune, the stability and balance in your life. I feel like this isn't a genuine, sincere, whatever this is, right? I don't feel like it is. There's the Two of Cups. So this tells me that something wants to interfere with that balance. Ooh, look at this. Ace of Cups, Two of Cups, with something that is very balanced, that is very pure, that is very authentic. It just gives me that energy. So take what resonates, release what doesn't. At this point, I thought, I would have already clarified these with the second deck, but because I did not do that correctly, I kept going with the first deck. I am going to make one more swoop through, and we will end it out with this. So we got the Eight of Pentacles. So this talks about staying focused on your future, focused on your work, this looks like. Ace of Wands, that's a new beginning. There is something exciting. I feel a very passionate new beginning coming in for you right now. I feel like this is all happening simultaneously. This is for the general overview of the month of October. The Queen of Swords is showing up. I've talked about her before. You know, I always feel the King or the Queen of Swords when they show up, it's because someone's going through an ascension. And it is, you know, it's not easy to be in that Queen of Swords energy, right? Especially when you're such a loving, kind, nurturing energy, because ultimately this queen or king, whatever one, but it is showing up at the as a queen. So behind the scenes, you know, you may have really, you know, shed some tears, I'm feeling, about the things that you've had to use that sword to cut away. Ace of Wands, to bring forth this new beginning. I feel like you've had to really work hard and make some very tough calls. The Queen of Swords, you know, it's very rare to make a queen, like to see a Queen of Swords cry or see them emotional, because that's not their suit at all. It doesn't mean that they don't, but they're more apt to do it behind the scenes when no one else can see. And oftentimes they're looked at as they're cold and they're just unemotional or that sort of energy. That's not necessarily true, but they do have to keep their emotions in check, right? So that they're not walked all over and that sort of thing. And I'm feeling that's what happened to somebody. So somebody may be thinking you're cold and you don't care, even though they've never seen the millions of tears you've cried, that sort of energy. I feel like whoever I'm talking to, you have been through it, because this is the Wounded Warrior. You can even see where he's got that bandage on his head, and look, this person has taken their power. That Ace of Wands is in his hand, the same Ace of Wands that kept showing up, and he's putting all the burdens and baggage and things behind him. I feel like at one time when all those wands were in front of this person, they were stuck. They were very challenged, which we've seen somewhere up there, that Seven of Wands, right? We did see where they were like really under attack, like everybody coming at them, or all kinds of different things coming at them all at once. It felt like the world was falling apart in front of their very eyes, or weighing them down. They were very burdened by a lot of challenges that were happening simultaneously, and I feel like they've overcome that. This was on the bottom of the deck, and I started shuffling, and it did show up again. Another number 4. Bottom of the deck is the Death card. This to me feels like an energy of, you know, rejecting, unemotionally sustaining, genuine connect. Like, I feel like this is a lot about feelings, emotions, and relationships. And I feel like this can be a card of rejection. And I do feel like this person is just like fallen asleep on what has been, right? I just feel like this person is not emotionally even interested. It can't even keep his attention at this point. It's like, I feel like it's done. Queen of Swords, like, I've seen this, it's been too much, it's done. And I feel like you don't see something that's coming in. And I do keep seeing this energy where there is an energy that's coming in that's going to, like, where you're not going to feel like you're doing it on your own, whether this be a business partner, a romantic partner, the right job opportunity. There is balance that's coming in and a new beginning. This old cycle, done, over. It's a completion of that. I feel like someone has already been, or is like, it's like clearing out the loss of the debris of some sort of transformation that they have been through. So let's pull a couple more cards. Yeah, look. 3 of Wands, and that talks about somebody making a choice, and they're taking their power and they're moving forward. This is what they're doing. They're turning their back on the past. They're heading towards new territory, uncharted territory. So this feels to me like you have never, or you haven't, you know, walked on this before. You haven't been down this path before. Three of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. And when I do see this specific Three of Pentacles, this feels to me like that energy of one person who does the work, and then other people who just want to kind of like be dictators. Do this, do that, do the other thing. And then you got one person doing all the physical work, which we did see over here, right? And it feels to me like people who want reward without, without doing the work. I feel like this is no, right? No. And I don't feel like that would be sustainable, and I don't feel like the universe would support that during this new energy, the frequency of this new energy. There's the King of Wands for the second time. This is talking about the ascension and movement forward of true leadership, true authenticity, true loyalty. Like these energies, wow, Magician, this has been manifested. Someone has manifested, or they are manifesting. Again, this is through the month of October, so this may be playing out different areas along the way. But when I do feel this energy, I feel like the moving forward is towards that, same kind of vibrational people, places, or things. One that align with strength, courage, confidence, loyalty, true leadership energy, right? So let's pull one more card. We got the Two of Cups again. I'm leaving it there. Yeah, I feel like somebody is out. They're done. There's no more confusion or distorted energy. There's no more. They've been enlightened to the things that were an illusion, that were just caught up with confusion. They're taking their power back. They're standing their ground, and they're uniting with energy that supports and sustains their future in alignment with who they are as a person. I thank you guys for taking the time to listen to this message. Please leave me a comment, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate you. Have a great day. Sending you much love and light.